How to make a mosaic. Everything that you'll need to make a mosaic. So we have something to stick it on. So you can use anything that is solid and not going to bend. All right, so these guys not bending anywhere, which means that your work isn't going to crack over time with bending. All right, so if you want to, anything that you stick it onto is called a substrate, and you want to make sure that substrate is solid. The next thing is you want something to stick to it to make your picture. So I use tiles and I break them up really small. Alright, so quite tiny. And then you glue them on the picture in different colours to make it look like what you want. Now, it doesn't have to be tiles, it can be anything that you want. So you can do beads, you can do paper, you can do jewellery, you can do anything that you want that you can stick to an object and will stay is tessearae, and that's what you can use, okay? Once you have finished gluing down your picture, you'll want to grout it. So you make a paste. You fill in all the gaps of your tessearae, so all of your little pieces, making your mosaic solid and durable, and the pieces won't fall off. All right? And then you can seal it, and then you are done. So if you're making a coaster or something like this, you would put a piece of felt on the bottom to protect your table from your substrate. All right. Now, points. Substrate is solid piece of something. My kits are plywood that have got the design painted on top, so you can copy. Okay. You can go to Kmart and they've got cutout images as well. So no picture on them, but they're cut out into a shape, which is a nice place to start. A nice tray, something like that, if you want to do something a bit bigger. I think your hardware stores have got craft kits like this as well, or you can order from me and get my DIY craft kits. So we have coasters, and I will be making bigger hanging things for a bit more of a challenge later on. But for beginners, I recommend starting with something small. Mosaicing is quite time consuming, so it takes a long time to put all of your tiny little pieces in the right spots, be happy with them, and it takes a long time. So start with something small, because if you start with something huge, you're probably going to get over it before you develop a passion for it, okay? So start with something small, something nice and cute, all right? And then move on to bigger and better things. So I'll show you how to make a mosaic with my pour coaster. So start with gluing. Glue in bottles is an absolute life changer. Otherwise, dip your tessearae in your glue or spread it with a palette knife. Once you finish gluing your design, let it set for 24 hours so the tessearae doesn't come undone when you do grouting. When mixing your grout, do it to a paste and then massage it into your tessearae gaps. Make sure you get along the edges to protect it from all angles as well. So after about 30 minutes, you're right to scrape off the excess. Once you've scraped off the excess, give it a good polish with paper towel. It is quite messy, and I recommend gloves. So let it dry overnight, and you can seal it with a bathroom sealer before felting to protect the grout. So draw your outline of your coaster on the felt, cut it out, and I recommend gluing it on. So this has got adhesive at the back, but I would recommend still gluing as it will last longer. Wipe off the excess glue with a paper towel. and you're all done.